Now let's face it, knowing how to make a Hollandaise sauce from scratch is a great skill to have, unless you're a professional or a home cook. Only thing, there's some slight technicalities. You need to emulsify, the egg yolk with the water first, clarify the butter, then use only the milk fat, then incorporate slowly in the hope it's not going to split, and then season. For a lot of people at home, I'm talking about home cooking, that's a big ask. But what if I was to tell you that there is an easier way? And it's true, I'm not lying, there is. We're going to learn to make the Hollandaise sauce in a home cooking style, no fuss version, by replacing the water with cream. The cream is a technique used by Paul Bocuse when he makes his beurre blanc. I've got a video on this, and that makes the sauce easier to make, and it also makes it more stable, and it removes the necessity to have clarified butter. So in that, what we have here, what I'm going to show you, is a one-pot Hollandaise. We're going to mix the cream with the egg yolk, whip a little bit over the heat on the double boiler, add the butter in here in cubes, cold butter, and wait until the whole thing starts to thicken a little bit to a semi-thick consistency of a sauce. Add the seasoning, and we're done. With this technique, you're going to be able to wake up on a Sunday with your family, dress up some toast, put some salmon, some bacon, poached eggs on top, make your sauce from scratch, and enjoy it. No need to go out anymore, okay? You ready? Let's go. Now this has to be the easiest method of making a Hollandaise. We can't escape the double boiler, so if you have a proper one, use that. This is a makeshift one, so a pan, a little bit of simmering water, and I've got my glass bowl on here. You can use a metal bowl, but glass is better. And then a whisk. And we're going to start here the same as typically we have water and then an egg yolk, but here we've got cream and the egg yolk, okay? And we're going to spend a minute or something, or two max, to start to emulsify. So emulsification, emulsion, it's always the same, huh? As I said. You whisk, you incorporate some air, and we're going to start to thicken a little bit that cream, okay? So I'll tell you exactly how long it takes. Typically it's 1 or 2 minutes or something like that. Huh? Now, after 2 minutes, you may see that the side of the bowl is going to start to dry, and this is the time, basically 2 minutes, where you're going to start to incorporate these cubes of cold butter. So this is the butter that is typically clarified, but here what we're going to do is keep on whisking, oops, there's one that escaped there, and keep on incorporating this butter, a bit like a beurre blanc, very slowly. And as we whisk and we cook, things going to melt, and after, it's going to thicken. Okay, so we wait for the little cubes to kind of dissolve in there, so you can see there. Don't go too fast, otherwise you're going to put everything everywhere. But this is going to be it. Okay, we keep the heat, we keep stirring, and it's a bit of a one-pot thing. So all in all, typically it's like it can take about four minutes or something. So a bit of elbow grease to use on here, but pretty much that's about it. So you see the consistency that starts to change. Can you see now it's a little bit kind of thicker on the side? You see how it thickens? This is the making of it. Okay, so I'm almost done with the butter in here. And the key, I'm keeping you on the camera, for that base is to wait for the sauce to be kind of semi-thick, but you don't want to go too far, because when you serve it at the end of the day, it's kind of liquid. You don't want it too thick like a béarnaise. Typically it says, yeah, you have to be really, really kind of thick, but I like to keep it a little bit liquid. It's much easier for the pouring. All right, and that's about it. Pretty much, what I need to do here is to wait another minute, and then we're done. And then we're going to add some seasoning. All right, so what is the trick? There's about 4.5 minutes of whisking, then you turn the heat off, because you don't want the temperature to go too hot. And when it cools down, you keep on whisking, and the liquid in there, the water contained in the cream and stuff in the butter starts to evaporate, and look what you get. Everything cools down a little bit, and I've got the consistency of a beautiful Hollandaise. All what we're left to do here is to add the seasoning. That's it. See how easy it is? So when we're done, now look at the consistency of the sauce. I'm off the stove, and all what I need to do is add my seasoning. So I'm going to add a little bit of white pepper in there, okay? A bit of salt, I want a bit of salt, and a little bit of cayenne. And if you want a bit of heat, mix that a little bit in, up, and the lemon juice. So lemon juice, up to you. To a quarter of a lemon, something like that. And that helps because it's going to help dilute. Now if it gets a little bit too thick, And you can put it back on the double boiler a little bit just before serving, so it's a pouring consistency. But basically that's it. We've made a no-fuss hollandaise, you see, with no fuss, no clarified butter, anything. So now I'm going to use that and create a very simple egg benedict. Let's go. All right, let's not waste any time. The egg benedict, for me, it's a simple breakfast item. We've got here a brioche bun laid with a generous portion of smoked salmon. You can do it with bacon, but I kind of prefer the smoked salmon, and a generous amount of that hollandaise. Now keep in mind, this is the no-fuss hollandaise. I'm going to be pouring this over, and I want something nice and gooey and generous. A bit of color to finish. And that's about it. You're ready to go. The brioche bun at the bottom for me is very important because it keeps the softness of it all. So you can go through the whole layers. You get the smoked salmon, tender, smoky. You get the slightly burnt toast on there, and that beautiful juicy hollandaise with a bit of extra lemon if you want to go further. A bit of seasoning on here, a bit of salt. And bon appetit, we're good to go. Well, let's dig in. So for some people, the amount of sauce I've put in is totally over the top. But you know what? When I'm getting this into a cafe, I'm not here for the bread or whatever. You're here for the sauce. You want to have plenty of sauce because things can get dry. You see, I've got all that smoked salmon. And smoked salmon with hollandaise is something that goes beautifully. So you can very easily cut through the whole thing. Look at these layers. You see that? So you have the layers of salmon, the layer of eggs, and smoked salmon and brioche goes very well together, but with some hollandaise there, that's the bomb. The bomb, people. Now, honestly, for the amount of work we have, one pot hollandaise for you. Is this good or is this good? Poached egg. Oh, it's a bit overcooked there. Oh, you know what? Oh, brioche with salmon and the hollandaise sauce. There's something about it that is really good. Wow, now that was absolutely delicious. I kind of wonder, why am I not doing this all the time? Now let me be honest with you. If you've tried to make a hollandaise and failed, if you're scared, use that method because it works and it is really, really delicious. I will leave you with that picture and I'll see you next time for our final episode. We're going to be tackling a modern version of the velouté that doesn't involve using a roux, and I'm also going to show you some easy derivatives you can use at home for meat, for fish and vegetables. So look forward to that. And I'll see you next time on the French Cooking Academy. Take care all. Bye-bye.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite.